Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Barrie Real Estate TV, a weekly web series I'm doing in partnership with 705contracting.ca. I'm your host Luke Bouillon, a real estate broker with C21 right here in the beautiful city of Barrie. This is episode 18, and today we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to do some market stats, talk to you about what the 2019 has had in store, and what 2020 might look like, and what position you could be in if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Barrie in the next little bit. Stay tuned right after this. Hi guys, welcome back. I'm going to try and keep this pretty short because I know the stats can be a little bit dry for some people, but I also know that some are pretty interested in finding out what's happening in the local market and how this may affect you if you're thinking about selling into 2020. So I'm logged into InfoSparks here, which is a subscription-based software that as realtors we have access to give you some really up-to-the-minute information as far as market conditions and break it down into very specific categories for different types of home, different sizes, different areas, number of bedrooms, that sort of thing, and really give us the details on not only what they're selling for, but how long they're listed, sales to list price ratios, that sort of thing. And this information can really help us help you price your home and get the most value out of your home given the market conditions. So I've set up two areas here already, which is the City of Barrie proper, as well as the Barrie and District Association of Realtors footprint. And what that gives us is kind of a cross between the city limits as well as most of Simcoe County. So that helps us compare if there's a difference in the pricing increases in the city versus some areas that are surrounding the city. But I can also break this down, for Innisfil or Oro or even different neighborhoods and different home types. So if you're thinking about selling and you want some more information on homes that are more similar to yours, one-on-one, I can pull reports for you anytime. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to kind of do some broad strokes here for Barrie and area. In the sales price tab here where I am, we're doing a 12-month rolling, and what this gives me is that the average sale price in Barrie is up 3.6% year over year, and in the Simcoe County up 3.4% again year over year versus this time last year. And that might not sound like a lot. Going back a few years, the city of Barrie tend to always go up 6 to 10%. As we kind of near the end of the peak there into 2017, we were seeing up 20-25% year over year, which is pretty unsustainable. It took a little bit of a dip from there, and we've now just started to go back on the price rise again. So that 3% is actually really healthy. But if we get into the 3-month rolling, which is near the end of this year, we're actually up 6.4% in the city of Barrie and 6.6% in the entire Simcoe County area. So that is huge compared to being a little bit down last year. We're now up, getting closer to that 10% mark. So the property prices have really started to rise again. And what that tells me is that they've increased more towards the end of the year versus the softer spring market, and that's likely going to keep carrying forward into the spring of 2020. So if you're thinking about selling, now's a great time to start getting things ready and then probably be listed shortly after the holidays, really taking advantage of the early spring before too many other listings flood onto the market, and you're going to get some great value for your home as that number is going to keep climbing up a little bit. New listings are down a little bit, so we're down 5.4% in the city and in the region actually, versus the amount of new listings we had for the same time last year. And so that means that there's not as many people trying to put their homes on the market for whatever reason. That also helps keep the prices up a little bit as supply is down. However, new listings don't necessarily mean supply, they're just how many new listings are coming on. If we look at the homes for sale, however, this is where it gets huge. So we're down 20.1% in Barrie and 14.8% in the Simcoe County region on homes that are actually currently for sale versus how many were for sale this time last year. So that's definitely helping to put prices up. There's just not as many homes on the market, and that's going to lead into, because because of our sales and our days on market. So when you look at the current sales, we're up 20%, which explains why we're down 20% in listings, especially coupled with the fact there's not as many new listings coming up. So the city of Barrie is up 20.1% in homes sold year over year for the last 3 months, and the region is up 25.8% in homes sold year over year. So that is huge. It means sales are really starting to take off again, and we're going to run out of inventory pretty quickly, which is what we'll see here in what we call our months of supply. So currently there's, again, we're down 20.6% in what we call months of supply, and that relates to 2.2 months of inventory on the market. So it's kind of hard to explain, but basically what is being at our current rate of sales, every listing on the market would be sold in 2.2 months if we didn't add any new listings to the market. So that's actually a really healthy number. It means things are not sitting on the market too long, and that again relates to if we get into our days of market, the average currently is 33 days on the market in Barrie and 41 in Simcoe County. So what that means is for homes that are competitively priced and show well, some will be a lot less than that. Things are selling in just a matter of a couple of days, and then things that are probably not priced as well or not as desirable or sitting on the market for a few months, that averages out to be about 33 days on market. We have a median there, which is 23 days. That's probably a bit truer of a number than the average for those homes that are more accurately priced, because that'll the average includes, of course, all the outliers, which was something sitting on the market for 6 months could really skew the average a lot higher than the norm. I would say normal well-priced homes are sitting on the market for less than 2 weeks, so that's something very important to keep an eye on. Another important stat here is our percentage of original price. So we talk about this a lot. There used to be this mentality that you could really negotiate on home prices, 10, 20, 50,000 from what they're asking, and that kind of crept back up a little bit right when the market kind of took a dip because people were still asking unrealistic prices. But as a whole in Barrie, realtors have always priced homes very close to what they'll sell for, and that's very, very clear right here. So our percentage of original price is in Barrie 97.2%, which is quite high. However, that doesn't take into account price changes. When you look at when someone drops the price and then sells it, our percentage of list price is 98%. So that means if a home was listed for, let's say, 600,000, they've dropped it to 575, that home is then going to sell for almost exactly 575. They're not getting a big negotiation off of the asking price once they receive an offer. As far as that goes, they've priced them pretty competitively for what the home is worth, and people are offering very close to that amount, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, but on average 98% of asking price, which means it's pretty well exactly what they're asking. You're going to save maybe a few $1,000s, but expecting to be paid pretty close to what the homes are asking. So if you're out looking at homes, you want to make sure you're looking at homes that are within your budget and not $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 above your budget, because they're likely not going to be available for what you're looking to pay. Guys, I hope that's a bit of information for you that's helpful. As I said, if you have any questions specifically about the market, you want me to break it down into single family homes versus condos, or 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, different parts of town, anything like that, I can pull up all these numbers for you anytime, and I'd be happy to do so on a one-on-one basis. I can either make you a custom video, I can talk to you about it over the phone, or I can send you a report on some of the questions you might have. So contact me anytime with any of these questions. I'd love to chat with you. I'd also like to hear from you with comments or questions about future videos, things you'd like to see covered. Until next time, happy house hunting. We'll talk soon.